Hey guys, it's Ben with Myers Woodshop. Today we're going to check out this Dewalt 20 volt 7 1/4 compound miter saw. Now I will tell you that I've had the Flex Volt miter saw. It uses 2 batteries to chop. It's the big one. I mean, it's the big honking one. And as my shop continues to grow and I get different tools, I'm having to downsize some tools to fit other tools. So you can notice over here, this is a little different. I have a shelving unit. I used to have the Bora Portamate that flipped up, the wings went out and held that big saw, but it ended up being storage for other things on top. So if I had to get that saw out, it took me like 20 minutes to get it out because it was piled underneath. I changed it over to the shelving unit. I can use all the tools now. And I did some searching and I found that this is a tiny miter saw, and I don't do miters very often, but when I do, I can actually just pull it off the shelf in 2 seconds and set it up. So that is why I'm switching to this. Hopefully this is good enough that it's worth the switch. So let me open this up and take a look at, is it a viable option for a shop being so small? So let's check it out. All right, so the other one took 2 hands and all of my weight to lift up. And this one, I've carried the box back to my shop, and it was really easy with one hand, basically. So let's see what comes inside. Go inside in the front, we have the hold down clamp for the wood. This is essentially the same thing that was on the other one. It's got a hold down. A lot like the micro jig dovetail clamps, looks just like that. All right, inside here is basically the entire machine all put together. We'll get to that in a minute. The only other thing we have is this, I think it's a dust bag. And I don't think there's anything else under this. Nope, so nothing else under that. All right, so it's covered in plastic. We'll take the plastic off. And it is, I mean, upon first look, it is tiny. It's very compact, which I'm actually very excited for in my tiny shop. A lot of people who watch me on YouTube and then come actually visit my shop are always amazed at how small my shop actually is. It is basically a little smaller than a 2-car garage, and I have all these tools in here. So don't let YouTube fool you. So we got a little bit of a tilt here. So it came tilted. I'm gonna turn it straight like that. Then we have, it's in the locked position, and it is a little different than my other one. So, oh, the pin's back here, and that will unlock it. So it's just got a bunch of protection padding. And then back here we have another protection for shipping. If you want to move it back and forth, it's got this knob here, and that makes it have the sliding capabilities. And we can get that piece off. So that is what it looks like when there's nothing else. All the shipping stuff is gone. So it is a sliding compound saw, which I like. So you get the extra depth. It's just a 7 1/4 blade. It comes with a 40-tooth blade. All right, what comes in this little bag? We have the wrench to change the blade. We have the instruction manual. And then we have the dust port that'll capture all the dust. We'll see how good that actually functions. We got the dust bag if we don't hook it up to a dust collection. And that will just stick right there. I might have it upside down. Nope. The handle part goes up. So there's the dust collection, and that's it. So I'm gonna actually lock it into place for a second. It's got a handle on the side of either side to lift it up. It is really, really light and really not bad to carry. Quick lift up and move. And then we have to adjust it left and right with the tilt, like so, you have this locking back here, and that'll lock it to adjust. You just flip it out, unlocks it back here. So if you need a little bit more storage area or something, that's it. If you want to stop the sliding, again, that's this black thing right here. You can stop it from sliding. You just want to cut the small amount, stop it from sliding. And then the battery will go on this side. It's a 20-volt battery, but it will also accept 60 volts. So judging by how big you can go, this is a 5 amp 20-volt battery. And I have a 9 amp 60 volt. I don't know if it'll fit in here. Let's check. Yes, it's got clearance for the 9 amp and doesn't get in the way of actual use. So there's clearance all the way around for your 9 amp. So you can go big with the battery for sure. So let's go ahead and try to turn it on. We have a light button right here. The light button gives us the shadow of the actual blade. I like that a lot better than a laser, because the shadow of the blade, you can't get any more precise than that. And there's nothing that can, like, if you bang the laser somehow and get it out of alignment, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So if I pull the trigger, the light automatically comes on. So we do have a button for the light where we can kind of gauge without pulling the trigger, but if we pull the trigger, the light comes on. That is the exact same function as the 60 volt. As far as I can tell, this is very similar to the 60 volt in a way, way smaller compact package. So for the trigger, we do have a safety trigger to where you have to slide something over a little bit and then pull the trigger to cut. So this is what it sounds like at full blast. It's not very loud. And it does have a brake to stop it quicker. So that is pretty nice. We do have a full tilt from 0 to 45 degrees. We only tilt one way, however. We don't tilt right and left, we just tilt to the left. We also do have a where we can change the angle, and we go to about 50 on one side and 50 on the other side. So we got 50 on either side. To change the angle, it's very, very simple. You push down the thumb piece right here with your thumb and you turn it. And when you get to the angle you want, you push this part right here, this black part down, and it locks it into place and it's going nowhere. Again, that's very similar to the 60 volts, which was a great miter saw. But so that is that tilting part. We do have some holes in the feet where we can screw it down to a table or bolt it down to whatever table you're using it on. I'm curious if there's a place to store this. I really hope there is. Yes, there is a place to store the wrench key. It's in the back. It's got a little clip and it will hold it right in place so you won't lose that piece. So all of the pieces to the saw come with the saw. Overall, so far so good. Let's do some practice cuts, some test cuts, see how it comes out. You can see I'm storing it right here on this little desk, which is what I needed for my small shop, and it worked perfect. All of the cuts I did came out just as good as the 60 volt did. They were straight, they're angled right, it was smooth. So far, I really like this machine. I'm happy with the semi-downgrade, yet I find that 99% of the cuts I'm gonna do will work in this smaller form factor. And the ease of actually having this to pick up and move wherever I want to do it, or set it on a table and cut in a tiny shop. Gotta remember, my shop is very tiny without much room. This is a better fit for me for sure. And I'm not losing any quality of the machine, I'm just losing the depth of cut. Again, how often are you cutting something, I don't know, a 4x4 in half? So yeah, I lost a little depth of cut, but the length of cut, I'm still pretty good, and it'll cover 99% of what I'm doing in the shop. Quality of Dewalt, I have yet to find something that I don't like Dewalt make. I did purchase this with my own money from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to get one of these yourself. Remember, it will run on a 20 volt and a 60 volt battery, so either one will work. The dust collection does a good job at collecting your dust with just this bag. You can hook up a vacuum to it if you need to, but really the dust collection does a good enough job. I don't want to run a vacuum while I'm running this thing. So if you like this video and it helped you choose if this was right for you, leave a thumbs up, click subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy woodworking.